Hello and welcome. This is Omar Torres, and you're listening to Pop Therapy, a podcast that explores the intersection between psychology and pop culture. There's so much to unpack. So join me and let's get started. Well, look who's come back to listen to another episode. Hi, it's me, Omar, your friendly neighborhood therapist, and I don't have a ton on my mind today. I do, however, have a prompt or maybe an ask. It's more of like I'm going to ask you to do something, and I want you to go with me. All right. I want you to indulge me for a little bit. So wherever you are, if you can, I just want you to take a moment and notice your breath. That's all I want you to do. I just want you to take a moment and be aware of your breath. How is your breathing right now? Are you taking really deep, slow, full breaths like in your belly? Are they more shallow and closer to your chest? Are you breathing through your nose? Are you breathing through your mouth? How does it feel? What is that sensation like to just wonder and be aware of your breath? Today's episode, we're going to slow things down. Okay. So I feel like today's episode is going to be a really good one if you need to slow down, if you need to slow down your nervous system, if maybe you're feeling a little amped, right? Or that nervous energy. And it's like, oh, I don't really need that right now. I need like chill vibes. This is the episode for you. Maybe this will be great like while you're folding laundry. Just like something relaxing, something simple, right? I think today's episode is going to be a really good episode for that, for when you need just to like slow down a little bit. And that's kind of like, that'll be like the theme kind of today's episode, which is a wonderful segue into introducing our next guest. You know, when I was thinking about topics, like what do I want to talk about? What do I want to share with audiences? What do I want to share with you? One of the things that has been in the back of my mind for a while is breath work. And it's something that it's orbited in and out of my life in terms of like my consciousness and awareness of it. As a therapist, you know, breath work comes up pretty regularly, pretty often, but not so much in pop culture, not that much, a little bit here and there. If I'm watching, you know, a show with a therapist in it, maybe, or if I'm scrolling through Instagram. So that is why I invited our guest over to talk to us all things breathwork. I'm so excited to bring him on. Please welcome into your hearts, Jack Bauer. Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Great. That was such a beautiful intro.
Thank you.
I feel more grounded.
Now you
Started with the episode.
We're done. See, you're cured. We're done. That's the end of our episode.
That's literally it.
Your hair looks great, by the way. I have to say, so good job. Whenever I see I'm wearing a hat right now, so you can't tell. But I also, you know,
I
love my hair. It's like my thing. It's like my obsession. So I tend to it a lot, like a little baby. Thank you so much for coming on. Like I said before, breathwork is something that has orbited in and out of my life. And it's one of those things where I think I got to a point where I was just like, okay, Omar, you keep thinking about this. So do something, like enough already. You know what I mean? Like just like reach out. And so I reached out to our mutual friend, Jason, shout out, girl, miss you, love you. And he connected me to you. So tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and the work that you do.
Yeah. So this is so cool. So I'm Jack Bauer. I don't know if anybody knows the TV show 24,
24, of course, of
but I
course.
just know that there's probably going to be some listeners that'll be like, oh my God, like they'll be thinking about that. Just
Yeah,
know, I know.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
We hear
but
you, we see you.
we see you.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I had the name first. So, but we're here to talk about breath work. Yeah, so I know I already shared this with you, but I currently work a 9 to 5
Mhm.
at a company called Salesforce, and I'm in sales, which is pretty high stress, intense job. Not like the most, but there's definitely waves of high intensity.
Oh, yeah. I have
And
clients that
then
come in and they're like, "Oh, it's the end of the quarter." And I'm like, "Okay, buckle up. I know what that means."
yeah,
They're
exactly.
like, "So strap in." I'm like, "Okay, I'm here. I'm with you."
Exactly. And then really my passion and the work that I've been doing or feel most aligned to over the past few years, specifically with breath work, has just kind of, yeah, taken up a big part of my life.
Mhm.
And then in addition to that, I recently did a 200-hour yoga teacher certification. So yay.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I have a history of teaching in group fitness. I
Okay,
used to teach at Soul Cycle. I was at
okay.
Soul Cycle for about 6, 7 years.
So teaching is, like, in your blood, I feel like.
It has become that way, and I really think, and I'll share more about my story, and we can connect the dots of why that maybe
Sure.
is. But I really do feel like the way that I have just developed and learned and grown has been through teaching
Mm,
myself and then teaching others.
mhm,
I think that that practice really works well for me.
mhm,
And then, yeah, I think like my whole mission with breath work for me over the last 2 years has been wanting to help because it's helped me so much come back home to myself. So
mm.
that's like my whole kind of message, I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah.
with all of it is breath work has been a really helpful tool in bringing me back home to myself. And I
Mm,
have spent so many years self-abandoning,
yeah, yeah.
like, totally outside of just being home with myself, and then coming back home to myself, what have that has just changed my whole world
Yeah.
in so many beautiful ways, and it is a constant practice,
Oh, yeah.
and the beautiful thing about breath work is, like, the breath is always there, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's our best friend. I've heard it described in some ways, so yeah.
When I think of the phrase getting back to yourself or coming home to yourself, there's a few thoughts that come to mind. So the first one is, which I think is probably the more common thought, maybe I could be wrong, which is like getting back into your body, right? And just being aware. And what I mean by that, getting back into your body, is being aware of your body, being aware of
Yeah.
like where it is, what
Yep.
it's doing, how
Yep.
it's feeling. Like, is it cold? Is it hot? Is it neutral? Is it sweating? Is it itchy? Like even just like
Yeah.
being in tune with my body. And then I also think of my inner compass. When I think of the idea of coming back home to myself, I think of that inner voice that's like that is my like due north, right? Like
Yeah.
my northern star, so to speak. Is that what you think of? Is that what comes up for you when you think about coming back home to yourself as well? How do you process that concept?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's all of those things. I think the sensation piece first,
Yeah.
especially a lot of the breath work that I do outside of the transformational breath work, which I'll kind of speak to
Hmm.
later, I do a lot of down regulating breath work.
Okay.
So that's like slowing things down,
Mm,
getting yourself back in your body. Totally. Yeah, the sensation piece of it all, the bringing back, like, your awareness to just, like, right here in the present moment,
yeah. Yeah.
coming home. And then, yeah, the deeper kind of, like, let's go below the mind, like,
Yeah.
let's tap into, kind of, yeah, the maybe more spiritual stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, that is how I connect to it, I
Okay.
think. Yeah,
Lovely. Was breath work, I mean, it sounds, I think I already know the answer to this, but I'll ask you anyway. It sounds like breath work wasn't necessarily on your vision board your entire life. I don't get the sense that you
yeah,
sort of, I don't know, that in undergrad, you were
yeah,
like, you know what? I'm gunning for breath work. That's my target. That's what I want. That it's maybe something that sort of unfolded before you over time
yeah.
and presented itself to you as an adult. Maybe is that how did you get into breath work?
Yeah. It hasn't, and honestly, it's so interesting because kind of thinking through this moment where we're talking about breath work, and anytime I kind of gear up to talk about breath work, always take a little trip down memory
Of
lane.
course, of course.
And,
I love an origin story. I love a good
and,
yeah.
like, in the perspective of things and, one of the things that's really interesting, my relationship with the breath before it became, like, breath work for me, I was born with asthma, and so I
Oh,
already came into the world with, like, a really challenging relationship with
yeah,
breath, like, I was,
yeah.
like, 6 months old and, like, holding up, these, like, breathing machines to
Oh
my
wow.
face, I was a baby, and then in some crazy, amazing, cool, I don't think in any coincidental way, I also found a passion for singing, and so at, like, 9 years
Mm.
old, my parents were like, "We're gonna put you in voice lessons,"
Oh,
because
that's awesome.
like, probably because I sounded so bad, and I did, like, a 1st grade talent show, and, like, I have the recording of it
Oh, that's
immediately
adorable.
after that. But again, here's this, like, through line of, like, my relationship to breath. It's all about
Right.
diaphragmatic breathing,
Yeah.
and I think it was all preparing me maybe, this kind of how I'm shaping the story to be in my own
Yeah.
personal experience in life is, like, 2 years ago, I had a friend that kept telling me, "Hey, like, I'm going to this active breathwork class, like, I think you would really like it, you should come." After, the 3rd or 4th time he had asked me, I was like, "Alright, I'll go." And I just had this beautiful experience, this kind of, like I remember the moment of just, like, lying on the mat in this yoga studio, having an emotional kind of, like, opening,
Mm.
a connectedness to my body that I really hadn't felt in a very long time.
Yeah.
At the time, I was on medication for anxiety and depression, so I was kind of feeling numb,
Yeah.
and it was like, "Whoa, what is this?" And immediately, like, the second thought after that kind of awareness was, "I need to teach this." Like,
Oh, wow.
I need to do more of this. I need to this feels like a really helpful tool.
Yeah.
And from there, like, I haven't looked back, and truly, like, since then, every single week or day, like, something has been I've been focused on the breath work.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
So, yeah,
that
and there's
is so cool.
and it's I think we're in a really cool I don't think that it's also a coincidence that we're at this time where, like, AI has entered into the scene,
Yeah.
and people are more dysregulated or
Yeah.
more, like, out of touch with themselves
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
than ever before, but here, then you have this other side of it where, like, a a huge community of people I mean, breathwork has been around for
Of
thousands
course.
of
Yeah.
years since, it can be traced back to being documented of, like, with yoga and all of that.
Mhm.
Sorry if I'm getting carried away. I'm,
No,
like,
no,
getting
no. I'm following. No, this is great. This is great.
you said to, like, nerd out, so
Yeah,
I'm just, like,
please. So, wait, I do wanna so I understand that you like, breath was always kind of
mhm,
around for you, and we've entered this interesting time where I think it's becoming more important now than ever to reconnect with oneself, to like
yeah,
reconnect to your own humanity.
yeah,
And
and
part
just
of
slow
that,
down.
and to slow down. Yes, exactly. With the advent of technology and all of that, which isn't right. Like, and this isn't coming from a place of, I think technology is bad or blah, 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 blah,
No,
blah. Like, it's not
no,
inherently
yeah,
bad, but I do agree. I see a yearning and like a longing for the humanity, for ourselves, for like very human, simply human things. I'm noticing that more, which is what it sounds like you're also
Yeah.
noticing as well. Um, it also sounds like your relationship with the breath was fraught at first. Is that how it
Yeah.
felt
That's a
being
great word to describe it. Yeah.
right? Like you come into this world and you're like, oh, damn, here's this thing that is, supposed
Already
to,
a challenge.
yeah. And it's supposed to be something that like I come inherently knowing, quote unquote, how to do, right? Like we breathe in our sleep, literally, right?
Yeah.
Like we can breathe
Yeah.
in our sleep. And then for you, it is a more challenging experience. Do you have early memories of like, I don't know, like what was your relationship at that point when you were a kid? Like, what was the relationship like? What did it feel really tense? Did it feel really fraught, or were you kind of like, "I'll make it work"? Like, what was it like
Yeah.
for you?
I think that I naturally just overcame. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that even though I was going to doctor's appointments, had to breathe into tubes to, like, measure my lung capacity.
right, right,
I was taking, like, prescription, like, albuterol is, like,
okay,
one of the and all of that. I still my mom also, like, described like, I never let it slow me down.
hmm
I guess that, like, kinda speaks to I'm still like that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I really want something, I go after it, like, I started, I think, walking when I was, like, 7 or 8 months old, which is very early
all
for,
right, okay,
people like,
brag, humble,
doctors were nervous for me, like, but I think that was my body's way of coping with, like, I gotta get up, I gotta open up, I
oh
gotta move,
wow, yeah,
like,
yeah,
I really feel like that just it's that knowing, like that deeper knowing in yeah, my body that like has always been taking care of me. Like it's always,
gotcha,
you know?
okay, gotcha,
I
and
don't know if
then
any of that made sense. Um, and yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, and then I was gonna ask, and then voice came in, and you said that your
Yeah,
parents put you in voice lessons.
yeah,
Was that was that maybe? I would imagine that that was the first time that you started to get like a technical understanding of the breath and what it could do. What was that like for you?
yeah. Gosh, like, diaphragmatic breathing, I remember having to like, my voice teacher gave me the assignment of laying on my back, putting, like, 5 or 3 or 4 textbooks on my stomach, and
Okay.
then practicing, like, inhaling it, feeling it expand, and
Oh,
then
whoa.
watching it kind of, you know, fall down or come down,
Yeah.
and I learned about the diaphragm and, like,
Right.
what that is and how it's a muscle, but, like, we, can't really actually feel it, it's sensation, but it allows for, like, our lungs to expand more fully, and through this kind of now my understanding further of it is with diaphragmatic breathing, belly breathing,
Okay.
you're stimulating the vagus nerve,
Right.
which vagus nerve is the highway to connecting with the parasympathetic nervous
Right.
system,
Right.
which is rest and digest. So, really, like singing, humming is a natural, just way, a really awesome tool to help use to calm the nervous system in the body.
Right.
And a part of my story is I'm from a very small farm town outside
Mhm.
of Chicago,
Mhm.
religious upbringing,
Mhm.
and I think around the age of, like, 9, 10 was when I was like, "I'm different," and by
Yeah.
that I mean I'm gay.
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah.
I'm not like other boys, but I like boys.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
in that kind of, like, setting, the religious piece of it all,
Yeah.
I that's when I kind of started the self-abandoning and
Ah, yes, yes.
so to have that, but also, like, being singing and, like, kind of being pushed in this direction of, like, it's okay to, like, perform and do all of that
Yeah.
stuff. I was, like, getting good at it. But I think just to kind of pull out the thread of, like, how the breath has always been something that has been so helpful for me in hopes that other people listening to this kind of maybe do an inventory of their connection to the breath.
Right.
Like, it's always taking care of me. Like, the
Mm,
singing thing, at the times where I felt most disconnected from myself, I still had this thing, like vocal performance,
right.
singing, to, like, bring me back to home to myself, to,
Yeah.
like, bring me back to, and when I'm singing, it's, like, the best I feel,
That
It's
is
like
so lovely. What a restorative to go from, not that it held you back, not that you didn't overcome, but to go from being diagnosed with having asthma to then going into singing. What a like healing. I'm almost framing this in my mind as like couples therapy between you and your
Yeah.
breath. And like
Yeah,
voice lessons was like couples therapy where you learn to work together and you
yeah,
actually like restored this relationship or healed this like I'm using air quotes here, but like rupture in a relationship and actually started collaborating with each other, which is exactly what couples therapy is. You know what I mean? Like
I
there's all
love
this
that.
tension and then hopefully the couple walks away feeling like a team, right? And not like adversarial. And it sounds like
Yeah,
singing for you was a version of that, was like a version of couples therapy between you and your breath, which is just like so lovely to hear.
yeah, I love that. I love that.
And I also appreciate like the other thought I had was you tying in the identity component. So, for you abandoning yourself, what it looked like for you, it sounds like, was you maybe denying or hiding a part
Yep.
of yourself, essentially, right? Yeah, yeah. And the toll that takes on one's psychology and body like varies. How did it show up for you?
Yeah. I coped with food. That was kind of my first,
Mm-hmm.
like, substance,
Mm-hmm.
and it eventually led to me, weighing, like, 320 pounds.
Mm,
I was in a bigger yeah, I was in a bigger body
yeah.
and super addicted to, like, fast food and
Yeah.
sugar, and yeah, that's, like, how I coped.
Right. Right.
Um And eventually, when I left home, I, went away to a small liberal arts school outside of Chicago, and I finally had, like, this kind of awakening moment where I needed to accept the truth that I needed help. Like, I fell out of control,
Mm-hmm.
and so I raised my hand and called on the people that I needed
Mm,
to help me in the journey of, again, like, coming back home to myself. I know I
yeah.
sound like a broken record, but, like, getting healthy in a way not doing the things that I was doing before,
Right. Right. Like the
maladaptive
maladaptive
coping mechanisms,
coping.
which
Right.
which to me, like, yes, I can see it as self-protection, but it was also self-abandonment,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
didn't know that at the time, but looking back, of course, I look at that version of myself, I'm, like, so, like, I look at that version of myself in awe, now,
Mm-hmm.
and, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, such a sweet, like,
Yeah.
boy that was just doing his best and, like, as we all are, but I was so in pain. I was in so much pain
Of
and I
course.
didn't know it. And so, yeah, like, this was about 11 or 12 years ago. I had kind of like, I started that
Okay.
journey, health and fitness.
Okay. Was that around the same time that you came out? Was that part of the
Yeah.
healing journey for you
Yeah.
as well, I would
It's
imagine?
totally. It's kind of wild how when you take that weight off, like,
Yeah.
figuratively speaking, and you tell the truth.
Yeah.
And then, like, what kind of that then ensues after that? What can happen? What that triggers, the momentum that you build, the, like, things that you no longer are willing to, like, accept anymore,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then, like, the process of the letting go, I think
Right.
is, something that's so fascinating.
It's so relieving, right, to
Oh, it's really
tell the truth. Like even watching you tell that story, there was a moment where you let out a sigh of relief, and I'm
yeah.
like, that is so real. That moment when you let
You're like yeah.
yeah, and it's this really interesting. phenomenon where you're letting something go, but also integrating something at the same time. Like you're
Mhm.
letting something go, but you're becoming more whole. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's like this weird paradox that happens
Yeah,
at the same time,
yeah.
that often brings about the like, that
Mm.
like sigh of relief. And you brought back a memory that I haven't thought about in a long time. In
Mhm.
undergrad, I majored in psych and I did a whole presentation on the vagus nerve, actually. So
Mm.
hearing you talk about vagal nerve stimulation just like brought me back to that. I got an A on the project, just
Of course you did.
FYI. I was very proud of it. And I had to do like a whole presentation on it. And it's funny how aspects of that come up in my work now. In fact,
Mhm.
I often tell clients, or I talk to clients about humming as a
Yeah.
way of activating the vagus nerve and activating the parasympathetic nervous system and just like calming down. You know what I mean? And just like how helpful something as seemingly simple as humming can be. So you just like brought all those memories like
And
rushing
I
back.
think I think a really cool that's, like, love that we went there.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, and, like, it's so cool. So, there's 2 things that are coming to mind now, and you can keep this in or not or whatever, but, like, the first thing is I've obviously we all are, like we all have we know what the breath is. We came into the world breathing. Like,
Hmm.
it's not something that is like, "Oh my god, this is, like, so cutting edge and
Right. Right.
incredible." It's like, we know these things. The point that I was gonna say first was, I like to view the breath as, like, ancient this is gonna sound crazy, but, like, technology.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
medicine, it's
Hmm.
also I've heard it described as medicine. I like the
Mm,
idea of it being this medicine. It knows
yeah.
intuitively when you start to use it how to heal,
Right.
like,
Right.
whatever, and the thing that you said about the humming piece, it's like it blows my mind that, like, we already have these natural things built
Right.
to us,
Right.
that we can pull on anytime, but somehow because of the way that the world has gone and the, like, focus is on efficiency and optimization and, like,
100%.
results and all these like, we lose, like you said, kinda going back to that thread around humanness.
I'm
I don't know, there's
really
just something really cool about that, like, just
yes.
like humming.
Yeah, right. Something as
What?
simple and you right, like, wait, that calms you down? Like that
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
like, if you
absolutely.
didn't know it yet, like,
Yeah.
try it, like, that's your
Right.
assignment this week,
Yeah.
but also, like, what?
I'm also glad that you brought up the role that like current culture, current pop culture plays in our understanding of breath work and maybe even some of our disbelief or tension around breath work or like meditative practices like breath work, which is this
Mhm,
like optimization culture. I was recently speaking to a sleep specialist, and we were having like a very similar conversation about how fundamental sleep is to existence. And I'm thinking of like breath in the same way, like, oh, right, sleep and breath, it's just fundamental to us being alive, to us being conscious, to us like being here. And how much of this like optimization, uh, hyper productivity culture has impacted sleep and our relationship to sleep. Have you noticed a similar effect happening with breath work, with slowing down? Have you what have you seen? What have you noticed as it relates to that?
like, the first thought that I have around this is how yeah, the optimization, the efficiency kind of,
Mm,
like, rhetoric, behavior habits, all those things, like, I do see it, and I also participate in it
mhm,
because of social media.
mhm.
Like, to get somebody's attention, you have 2 seconds.
Right.
So, the thing that I'm gonna say is take 5 seconds to take a breath,
Right.
Like,
Right. Right.
and while I do think that you can have major impact on your physiology in a few short seconds
Mhm.
even, just in pausing and coming back to the breath. So, like, there is that. I think, yeah, like the message of like, I need to take a breath in this moment.
Yeah, yeah. Right, because what's coming up for you right now?
It's
What
all moving fast. Like, I have so
Yes.
much that I wanna say,
Right.
it's so much I wanna,
Right.
like,
And you wanna say it
and
all, and you
and
wanna
I
say
want
it
it,
as
yeah,
efficiently and
efficiently,
quickly
yeah,
as possible.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and, like, I need to remind myself this is the practice, that there isn't, like, the right thing to say, like,
Right.
that it's doesn't need to be said perfectly, that
Right.
it's okay, people get it. It is affecting, like, the breathwork space,
Right. Right.
especially because the breathwork space hasn't had a formal, I don't know how to articulate this, but there, with yoga, there's a yoga teacher training that everybody has to complete, otherwise, like, you can't technically be a certified yoga teacher.
Gotcha.
You can take classes and you might be able to, like, speak the
Sure.
language and all of that, but you have to do a specific training.
Okay.
With work, there isn't like a
Formal or like
formal,
standardized.
yeah, it's
Gotcha. Train.
standardized.
Yep.
Thank you.
Got
Yeah,
it.
that's so then you have all of these different, like, lineages that are breaking off, these different formats,
Ah,
and a lot of them, like, for example, bringing it into pop culture, Wim Hof, right? Like,
what's
that's
that?
a very common, like,
Okay.
so maybe not to everybody, but, Wim Hof is just it there's a man, his last name is Wim Hof. He
Mhm.
created this kind of breath work technique that he uses for, like, contrast therapy. So, you do this, like, breathing technique in and out really fast. There's some breath holds there, and then it helps prepare you to get ready to, like, put your body into an extreme kind of cold state. Uh,
Oh, I think I saw something. I think I saw a documentary, or maybe it was Gwyneth Paltrow's documentary,
oh,
actually. I think she
she might have
visited.
done
I
some
think,
visited,
yeah,
yeah.
and it was
Mhm.
like preparing a group of her employees to
Yeah,
go into really, really like a super cold like lake
yeah.
that was like
So yeah,
frozen
that's
over.
exactly it. So that
Yeah.
was Wim
Okay.
Hof.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And he kind of not borrowed, he made his own method, but like, a lot of his kind of roots are grounded in, like, Tibetan, like, lineage
Gotcha.
of
Okay.
pranayama, of, breathing,
Yeah. Yeah.
breath and life force. And this all had, like, the point that I was trying to make. Yeah, it's like all being depending on who touches it,
Right.
it's definitely on that, like, kinda, like, "Do this for 10 minutes and, like, then you'll be fixed. Everything's fine."
Right. Right.
It's like, "No, that's, like, not the point."
That's
And
like
maybe it is, but it's, like, not, you
It's
know?
so tricky. You bring up such a fascinating point and such a I think this is like as helpers, as healers, as therapists, as coaches, this is sort of like what we're running up against, right? Is like the reality of the world in that we live in that is constantly telling us to like go, 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 hurry, hurry, hurry. And there are instances where we do have to hurry. Like
Yeah,
there are, and some of them are totally justifiable. Like if there's a car coming down the street, you yes hurry, cross the street. Like you don't want to get hit by the car. And then there's other like less quote unquote justifiable reasons when your boss is just like breathing down your neck to like make deliverables, and it's like yeah, no one's gonna die, but you do have to make those deliverables because you do have to pay the bills. And all of that is happening while at the same time we're trying to encourage folks to slow down. The tension that comes up for me as a clinician, it's like palpable. Like I can feel it. It's this constant tug of war or like tightrope walk that I'm engaged in understanding the realities of the world, but also understanding how crucial and important it is to slow down, even in the midst of like a super fast paced world. So like, yeah. And I'm always trying to straddle that line of, yes, I want to give you helpful tools to slow down, even if you only have a minute. Like, okay, let's
yeah,
work with the minute. Even though I'm like, but you need more than a minute. Like we need that. I'm like,
Yes,
if you only have
yes.
a minute, that's part of the issue. You
Hitting
know what I
hitting the
mean?
nail on the head. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Thank you for, like,
Yeah, of
articulating
course.
that in
Yeah,
the way
of
that
course.
you did. That's yeah. And there was something that came up as you were kind of sharing this as well. Like, I think about the physiology of it or the embodiment of it
Hmm.
all,
Hmm.
like, maybe, like, I would like to think that if that person, including myself, does have a minute or takes a minute because 'cause they're just curious, "Well, what if this does help?
Hmm.
I've tried all these other things, or I'm doing all these things, and I can't get out of the spiral," or, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh, this is what I can feel like
Right.
when I do slow down." And then
Hmm.
like, that to me becomes the thing that, like, I, in my own experience, have then chased because I was like, I can
Mm.
have something else. I don't have to keep choosing A or B. Like, there's a different way, you know? And then it's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, and I think I'm in that process now. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's, I've had two, I have to shout them out at some point, but I'll do it now. But Ali Maz and George Ramsey, those are my teachers.
Hmm.
They were the ones that I've taken these breathwork trainings from, and they have been in the world of breathwork for a while. And like, I think it's that
Yeah.
process, like just oh my gosh, the relief.
Yeah.
And for some people, like, that maybe operate on a because 'cause we've talked a lot, or at least we've brought up a lot about down regulating and slowing down, and that's but there are also people that need to, like, speed up. They need to
Yeah.
get off
Okay.
the couch,
That's a good
and
point.
I
That's a
feel
good
like
point. Yeah.
there's also up-regulating breath as well, and there's times that I use both, like, to not at the same time, but, like
Sure.
play with it, right? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there's a practice around it. Um, and so, yeah, just kind of being like, yeah, you can change. You can
That
be
is such a good point that you made. That is even illuminating to me. When I think of breath work, I tend to think about the slowing down of it all. I'd never imagined that breath work could also include a speeding upness, which can also be super helpful and is also sometimes very crucial. But that's like that is so interesting to hear. What does that look like? Like, let's say
yeah,
we were in a session or you were teaching me and I needed something to like light a fire under my ass, so to speak, or to like
yeah,
get up off the couch and like move. What's like your
totally.
go-to technique to help with that, the speeding
Yeah.
upness?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's super simple. Like anything that you're going to do with like breathing techniques to speed the body up, it's going to be short and fast.
Okay.
And then to slow things down, you want to think long and slow. So
Gotcha.
it's literally like just kind of manipulating the count, the time. Um, Typically, like, I find that short and fast done through, like, the nose or the mouth is going to land higher in your chest.
Right, right.
It kind of starts to rev up the system,
Okay.
versus the deep, slow belly breathing,
Mhm.
right? Kind of slows things down. It's more soothing to the
Right. Right. The
so, yeah.
the breathwork technique that is quicker and shallow, how long would you recommend someone doing that for? Like, is that something where you're like, okay, you don't want to do that for hours because we don't want to do that.
Right.
We don't want to like dysregulate you or throw your body off balance. But do this for 10 seconds, and this can be a helpful way of just like getting your body up and moving again. Is there a count that exists like that? Is there like a threshold that you want to be cautious of or mindful of when it comes to that particular technique?
Yeah, that's a good question. And there's a couple things coming up for me as
Okay.
I'm thinking about answering this. The first one is this is one of the coolest things I think and why I love breathwork so much is because yes, we're talking about the breath, but I think there's a lot of other things happening right now.
Mhm.
One is the relationship to the body and your own intuition.
Yeah,
So there really isn't a right answer that I can give someone
of
to
course.
say, this is going to work for you.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because I genuinely believe that, and also, like, I'm not a doctor. Also, there's, like, no doctors of breath work. Like,
Right, right.
30 seconds might be send someone that
Yeah,
in
I
that
see.
upregulating place. 5 minutes or 10 minutes might not be enough
Yeah,
for
got it.
somebody who is trying to practice that upregulating type of technique or breath. So, I think it comes down to, and really truly, this is anybody who's like, I'm curious about breath work, or I've like heard about this class that somebody's been going to, and like I want to try it. Like, number one, and the facilitator might not share this. I don't know where
Mhm.
they've been trained from and things like that. The the practice of breath work, it's so important to remember, one, like, you're in control,
Mm,
and to just start being curious about listening to what your body is asking you to do,
preach.
you
Mhm,
know?
mhm.
Or what it needs rather, and that could be really hard. Like,
Yeah,
I know that
sure.
my relationship with my body, as I've shared in little tidbits, like, there's so we'd be here for hours, like, talking about all of that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's taken a lot to get here and to be comfortable sitting, like, in my own skin and in my body,
Mhm.
and that has only been because I've, like, taken these small little, like, moments to,
Right,
"Okay, let me check in and see how this works for me." And the cool thing is that you can do this upregulating breath for 30 seconds and find that, "Oh, like, this isn't working." You're fine.
right,
Like taking a drug
right, right.
where you're like, "Oh, you're
Dealing
now
with crazy
buckle
side
up, babe.
effects or right.
You're
Yeah, yeah,
like,
like, no,
you
you're
got
it,
6
you're
hours later,
right,
like, you like,
right.
you could just it's like, so I think I also appreciate that about this practice and, like,
Yeah.
this work.
Me
Yeah,
too, that it ultimately incentivizes you to listen to your own
yeah,
body and to prioritize that and to, cultivate that relationship. I also love this idea of, like, you know what, if you only have a minute, like, fine, fine, and then but that's almost like a to continue on this, like, drug analogy. It's like a gateway drug into breath work, right? Because then you have that minute where you're like, oh, I want that again. I
yeah,
wanna feel that. I wanna feel that for 5 minutes now. I wanna feel it
yeah,
for 10 minutes now. And you pursue that, like, sense of relief or that calm or that energy. And so I like reframing the, like, "We only have a minute. It's like everyone's so busy." It's like, "Okay, I'm just gonna give you, like, a sneak peek. I'm gonna give you a taste, and then you can decide how that felt for you, and you can decide if that's something that you wanna pursue." Even though, like, again, even, like, as a therapist, what I wanna say is, if you only have a minute, you're too busy. We need to, like we need to look at your schedule. And, don't get me wrong, I
yeah,
think there's validity to that, but I also think that I forget sometimes that there's also power in the minute and that
yeah,
there's, like, something a minute can be transformative. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And I think that that's
yeah,
also part of, like, I don't know, the hurry up and go ness of our culture is, like, forgetting that these, like, small moments can actually really matter and make a difference. One question that I had for you out of many is, when do you usually find yourself using breathwork techniques, like, for yourself? Like, is there a time of day that you naturally gravitate to, or are there experiences that you usually that you have that you use breathwork for? Like, when do you usually engage with it yourself?
yeah. I honestly find myself coming in and out of being present enough to, like, be like, "Okay, I need to use breath right
Yeah,
now."
yeah, yeah,
And some of the things that are comforting for me is, like, doing, like, a counting. So, there's many ways to do breath work, which
yeah.
is just like, when we say breath work, I'm talking about, like, controlling the breath.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Whenever
That's a
you
good
just start to
distinction to
yeah,
make.
just
Yeah.
start doing, because there are deeper transformative breath work practices, but
Mhm.
kind of what I'll be referencing in this answering this question of like, how do you do it daily? Is just breathing techniques that are kind of like easily accessible. So,
Right.
and me, I come back to counting. So, like, and again, that kind of short and fast, it's gonna be more upregulating, and
Okay.
then slow and long or deep is going to be more soothing, down regulating. And one of the breathwork techniques that I use constantly is like the 5-5 breathwork technique,
5-5. Okay.
also called coherent breathing.
Coherent.
And one of the reasons why it's called that is there is a institution called the Heart Math Institute, and they
Okay.
study kind of the science and the relationship between the heart and the mind and the body.
Ah.
It's beautiful stuff, and one of the things that they have found is that when you breathe in for a count of 5 seconds and then exhale for a count of 5 seconds, and it's really like I think they have it down to, like, truly it's a science of, like, 5.5. It's like
Okay. Oh, wow.
5.5, but,
Yeah.
like, just breathe in for 5, exhale for 5. Your body starts to then become in tune with your heart, your breath, and your mind, and
Okay.
then everything's kind of in sync. Another really interesting piece, and I did write this down because I wanted to reference it. So at 5.5 breaths per minute, you're breathing at the same rhythm as many ancient prayer and chant traditions across culture. I thought
Oh.
that and we just kind of naturally just do that.
Huh. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not like
so
those prayers or chants were timed at
yeah,
5.5
yeah,
intentionally. That's just
intentionally,
sort of what happens naturally when you enter
naturally.
that like
Yeah,
meditative prayer state. Oh,
yeah,
that is so
it's so
fascinating.
cool.
And
Yeah,
so you inhale for 5 and then exhale right
and then
away, or do
exhale
you
for 5. Yep,
hold?
yep, yep, you
Okay.
can just keep it cyclical.
And
Uh,
outside of the heart and mind connection, why is this one that you go to constantly for you?
For me, honestly, it just feels so soothing. It's like I can count to 5, like,
Yeah.
without getting distracted by the breath holds that you were kind of just starting
Ah,
to
okay,
mention. So,
okay.
like, there's the 4-7-8 breath
Right,
where you inhale for 4, you hold your breath for 7, and
right.
then exhale for 8, and honestly, some days I can't stay present
Right,
enough to
right.
hold my breath for 7 seconds. I will lose track of
Yeah,
what number I'm on.
that's
And
so
so and then I
helpful.
get frustrated and I get in my head and I'm like, "Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, I can't count to 7."
right.
And so 5 is just like in for 5, out for 5, in for 5, and I do this at my desk, I do it, like, when I'm on the subway, I do it oftentimes, like, yeah, anytime I'm, like, traveling, I just find myself kind of, like, checking back in with, like, the 5 and 5, you know? And then
Okay.
occasionally again, it's like you can play with it, it doesn't have to be this, like, and then I do a breath hold, you know?
Right, right.
And then I enjoy the feeling of that, like, release that comes with, like, exhaling, you know?
Right. It's so nice to hear that there is a breathing technique that is for moments where you're like, I'm too distracted. I need something even simpler. 5 in, 5 out, 5 in, 5, and that is still, that there's still benefits to that, regardless of where your mind is, and regardless of like maybe your inability to, hold your breath and count until 7. I like how accessible that is. So I went through your Instagram, which we'll share with folks, but there was one breathing technique that immediately stuck out to me as my favorite.
Okay.
The physiological one.
Yes.
I'm not
We're in sync because I wanted to talk about that one
Okay,
today.
take it away. Talk
Okay.
about that one. I have thoughts, but go first.
Okay. Okay. So this is also one of my go-tos and favorites, and I'm curious to get why it stuck out to you and all of that. But I am gonna get nerdy for a second and
Please.
write this down so that I would be able to articulate it effectively. But so when we're stressed, tiny air sacs in our lungs called alveoli
Mhm.
collapse,
Mhm.
reducing the surface area available for gas exchange.
Ah.
So the double inhale that second, like, it
Yeah.
reinflates those sacs, allowing a full offload of CO2.
Oh.
So this exhale, so the exhale is what activates the parasympathetic nervous system.
Okay.
And again, we've talked about it, but the vagus nerve then is stimulated, and that's really what's connected to that's what's turning on that parasympathetic nerve.
Yeah.
So you're essentially hitting a brake pedal. This is why
Okay.
it works so fast. And I use that sometimes, honestly, at the gym to recover after like an intense set because you kind of hit it hard. And then I need like to
Oh,
adjust
okay.
pretty quickly.
Oh, that's really helpful to know because, usually I think of engaging in a breathing technique as I have to be either at my office or home alone. I don't think of it as something that I can engage with while I'm
Yeah,
actively
I think, yeah, we
doing
get, like,
something.
stuck in the it's almost like, "Oh, this is our storyline for what meditation is supposed to look like,"
Yes.
and it's like,
Yes.
well, actually, like, you can do it anywhere, anytime.
Anywhere. And so hearing that you can even use it like in between sets at the gym, I think is helpful for me to know. And I know it'll be helpful for our listeners to know that like even in between sets like this, the physiological breath technique would be helpful. Can I ask you to walk us through that right now? Can we do a quick little physiological?
Yes.
What is it? Is that
It's
the official
called the
term?
physiological sigh.
The physiological
Yeah,
sigh. Yes, that's what
yeah,
it was. Yeah. Can we do that real
yeah,
quick right now? Is that
absolutely,
okay?
yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna let you take the lead. I'm just like here to learn. I'm a humble student. Take it away.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the physiological sigh, and this is all gonna be done through our nose. We'll exhale out of our mouth.
Okay.
And essentially it's 2 inhales, but on the first
Hmm.
inhale, you fill up your lungs, and then once you get to kinda like the very tip, we're gonna take one more inhale in through our nose, like a little sip,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
you exhale and release.
Okay. So we're gonna try that right now, folks. So inhale almost to the tippy top, and
Take
then one
in one
more,
more, and then
and
release.
then
Sigh it out. Yeah.
so the reason why I loved this is because, and I think you touched on this in the post. It reminds me of whenever I've had a good cry
Mm,
of
yeah,
that like
totally. Yeah.
and there's
Nice.
something about that was so one just like so human and so like like so what we touched on earlier, this idea of we have so much already in us that is geared towards
Mhm.
healing. Like the human being's inherent capacity towards
Yeah.
healing is just like so fascinating to me and so lovely to me. And so this is just like another example of, oh, this thing that I've already been doing is actually like there's a name for it and there's a function for it and it's actually really helpful. And I've been doing it this whole time after a good cry. It's just like so
Yeah.
beautiful to think about. Like not to be all like
No,
I don't
I
know,
think
mushy about it,
no,
but
I love
yeah.
that, and I think it also ties back to the thread of what we were saying about humming and just
Right.
vibration and all of that, and, I mean, there are times when you just naturally, without thinking, you inhale and then you sigh, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's like we've already had this built in.
Yeah, that's so lovely. So I wanna be mindful of
You're
time.
all
I just
good,
realized
yeah.
that, uh,
Sorry,
um
before I forget, something that I did wanna nerd out on, and you can or
please,
not, but
please.
is, like, essentially with all of this breath work from if, you know, we get down to, like, the science of it, we're just playing with CO2 in
Yeah.
in our
Okay.
body, and
Right.
so the breath work that I teach around the city, you know, and what I was trained in or learned, got certified to teach is referred to as transformative breath work. There really isn't,
Transformative.
like, any other kind of term, I guess, as it's been described, but,
Okay.
for a very short period of time in that breathing practice, we're offloading a lot of CO2, which therefore is also dropping our oxygen levels. So a lot of people
Okay.
think like, "Oh, we're getting more oxygen to the body because I'm breathing more,
Right.
but I'm actually like."
Oh, it's about the
Yeah,
CO2.
and that's what's causing the different kind of, like, sensations in the body, and I know we haven't really talked about, like, the transformative breath work, the deeper stuff that's available, but
Oh, that's fascinating. Is the transformative what is different about it? If you can give like a quick like a elevator pitch, what is transformative breath work and why might that be good for someone specifically?
yeah, so it's just an extended kind of, meditative, like, active meditative practice, essentially, is kinda how
Okay.
I would explain it. You're just doing a repetitive breathing pattern. Sometimes it could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The classes that I teach or what I was trained in typically to optimize the,
Yeah.
like, the
I know y'all
experience.
can't see, but he used air
Yeah.
quotes when he said optimize.
And I
Yeah.
rolled, but yeah,
Yeah.
to get the most
Yeah.
effect,
Yeah.
get, like, the best effect, like, if you go more than this, it's not, like, a bad thing or anything, it's just, like,
Hmm.
it kind of it's a diminishing return on results,
Sure.
is about 30 minutes, and so it's just this, like, in, up, out, it's belly, chest, exhale, and it's used to help kind of clear, like, stuck emotional energy, again, that kinda mimicking of the cry. Essentially
Right.
what we're doing for about 25, 30 minutes. Uh,
Ah, okay.
there have been studies that have shown that this practice or this type of breathing for a limited amount of time reduces stress,
Yeah, yeah.
increases alertness, it
Mm,
can boost your immune system, helps
mhm.
improve sleep, and, some people have found that, it's helped them manage pain better even, and there's tons of other
Ah,
benefits, but,
yeah.
like, those are, like, the kinda, like.
Well, it reminds me of, of I don't know how up to date and relevant this is anymore, but, like, when you would see Lamaze classes on
Mhm.
TV, the
Oh, that's right,
like,
yeah, yeah,
that was, I in any scene in a movie or TV show where there was a Lamaze class, that was the breath work that was being done, and so the pain management component of breath work has been around in pop culture for as long as I've been, like, conscious and, like, watching TV, so there's just, like, a lot to that, yeah.
totally.
Um, Jack, one question that I ask every guest, is what is one piece of advice that you've gotten from the mental health world that you live or swear by? So this can be something that you've learned about in your own therapy. This can be something you got from a book, a podcast, a friend. But what is one thing from the mental health world that you live by?
Oh. Uh,
I love I it's like even coming from me. That's what I appreciate about it is like when you take a moment to just even in front of me right now while
yeah,
I'm speaking to you, that reminds me to like, oh, I can it's like giving me permission
thank
to
you
do the same
for
thing, which is
saying
like
that.
why I really appreciate that. That's like really
Oh,
helpful.
thank you for saying
Thank
that.
you.
It's encouraging for me to be like, "It's okay." Like, I
Yeah.
still have to practice that. Like, it's okay to pause. It's okay to breathe.
Yeah.
So, it's okay to feel this way. Um, thinking through this question, feeling through this question, I think something came up around, like, the permission to be in the process, like,
Mm.
to to there's something around, like, grace and empathy and love for, yeah, just, like, where I'm at in my journey and
Mhm.
where other people are also at in their journey of evolving. And my therapist has a really amazing talent when it comes to like analogy, giving analogies and metaphors.
Mhm.
And about 2 years ago, I was on medication for depression and anxiety, and I
Mhm.
kinda got to the point where I was like, "Well, this is having diminishing return," in that
Mhm.
I just feel completely numb or just not as, yeah, alive as, like, I want to be, or connected as I
Yeah.
want to be, and it's kind of really cool that I found breathwork around this time,
Mhm.
um, and I started after about a year of doing breath work, was finding myself like this little voice being like, maybe you're ready to try like without, this
Mm.
medication.
Mhm.
And I feel
Mhm.
like that might help you out a lot. And it took me some time to get there, but the analogy that he shared was like while I was going through the process of kind of coming off of the medication and all of that was like, with medication, with substances, coping,
Mhm.
it's like you're swimming in a lap pool that's 4 feet
Mhm.
deep and you have floaties on, and it's great.
Mhm.
We need this. It, like,
Yeah.
definitely helped me so much when I needed it. I
Yeah.
know it's there when I do need it if I
Right.
ever need it
Right.
again. But getting off of that, in any transition in life, really, it's like I took a courageous step into the open water, into the deep end. I
Yeah.
don't know where the floor is. I haven't swam in this current. And like seeing myself kind of in that like story and picture gave me so much more perspective on like looking at myself through a lens of compassion and empathy.
Mm.
Like I am doing my best just to keep swimming and like that's
Mm.
enough, and eventually
Yeah. Yeah.
like everything that you continue to come back to in practice, like if it is for you, that um it gets easier or you get
Yeah.
stronger. Maybe it doesn't get easier, but
Yeah.
you get stronger and you learn how to navigate it better. And so like that's what it
Right.
is. Like that's what like part of life
Permission to
is.
be,
And like
yeah, that's what
permission to
life
just
is.
like just
Amen.
be where you are. Like it's okay.
The reason why I love that so much is because it looks at medication not through the lens of it's a zero sum game, meaning you need it and that's it, or you have to stay away from it. I love this idea of like I needed it at the time and it was really helpful at the time. And then I was ready to try without and to see if I could do without. And that's often how I talk about medication to clients who are so afraid of even trying
Yeah.
it. And I understand why, is because a lot of the conversation when it comes to medication is like, well, this is a lifelong thing and that's it. And for some people, it
Yeah.
is. And that's wonderful
Right.
if that's helpful for them. And for other folks, it isn't. And that's also wonderful. And I love this idea of giving yourself permission to just be in the process. Give yourself permission to figure it out,
Right. Yeah.
essentially,
Totally.
to just like figure it out and to understand and to wonder and to question. And that's why I love that tidbit of advice. That tidbit of it. I think it could be helpful in for so many instances that have nothing to do with
I was gonna
medication,
say,
right? But just like,
just and a part of my story is recovery from a lot of things, like we all
mm-hmm,
are as humans.
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
and substances and all of that it's like at some point in the journey of, like, I'm 5 years sober from weed. I'm like Thank you. I've,
congratulations.
like, gone kind of, in and out. My relationship with alcohol has been an interesting one, but I'm currently
Mm-hmm,
sober from that, and I've, again, like, dealt with a lot like, a very complicated but beautiful relationship with food and my body and all of that, like,
mm,
and every single moment in that kind of there's been like a choice, a decision I had to make that took me a long time to get to have the courage to be like,
sure.
"Okay, I'm not gonna do this anymore." And then I'm
Yeah.
back in, like, the open water, and I'm swimming, and it's
Right.
hard,
Right.
and, like, but we're doing
Amen.
it.
Yeah.
We're doing
We're doing it,
Yeah,
yeah, and it's okay that if it's okay if it's
yeah.
clunky, it's okay if it's a
That's
little
what and
wonky,
that's what
you're in the open water spot.
I'll vulnerably say that's where I feel like I'm at with breathwork right now. Like, I feel so
Mhm.
lucky that, like, having this moment really shows how much I've grown. Like, this has been such
Right.
will kind of, like, pause for me to reflect and be like, "Wow," like, I would have never thought that, like, I would have an opportunity to talk about breathwork on a podcast with someone like yourself and, like, know that there could be people listening to this, there will be people listening
Yeah,
to
there
this
will
and
be.
hopefully
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
benefit from something that is said, and I'm, like, not slowing down, I'm not looking back,
Hell yeah.
but I'm also like, I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm doing, like, it's like, I
Right.
just want more people to
Right.
breathe,
Yeah.
and I'm just following that thread, and I'm like, "That's enough," you know?
That 100%, that's enough. I just want people to breathe. That's like is
Yeah.
so lovely and wholesome and earnest, and we need more of that now, more than ever. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much,
You.
Jack. So where can folks find you if they wanted to follow along and learn a little bit more about breath work from you, or if they wanted to reach out to you
Yeah.
directly and maybe get some, I don't know, tips or some training? Where can folks find you?
My address is no,
My social security number is.
take it. Um, no, but I honestly am most active on Instagram and, my username or whatever, my handle
Your handle,
my
username.
username?
How
It's very
AOL of you?
AOL, it's
How?
also very, like, corporate. Let's see.
Yeah. Oh, true.
Username, it's Jack, P as in Patrick or Papa, Bauer, Bauer. You'll like me
On
on
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah,
Wonderful. I'm so excited for you to be on this journey.
you.
You mentioned earlier you completed the 200-hour course, and like we're just getting started, baby. That's like there's just more hours
Yeah,
to come. I'm so excited for you to reach like one day. I want to hear from
yeah,
you. Okay, wait. You
okay.
have to make me a promise. I want to hear from you when you've done 1,000 hours.
Okay, alright.
I want to hear. Actually, maybe I'll bring you back on.
Oh my god.
Actually,
Okay, oh, I'm very
that's what we'll do.
goal-oriented, so I'm
Okay,
like,
so this is like
this is a good yeah,
scratching
this
that
is a
itch. Yeah,
good,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Wait, I love that idea. Yeah, when you've reached 1,000 hours, we'll talk and we'll have you
cool,
on.
okay.
Because I'm just like so excited to
Aw,
see like where you go with this
amazing.
and how many people you're gonna get to help is gonna
Mhm.
be so
That's all I
it's
wanna
it's gonna
do.
be
That's
amazing.
all I
I'm
wanna do.
so excited for you. Thank you
Thank you,
so
Omar.
much again for coming on.
Yeah.
All right, folks, as you know, I am a therapist, but this podcast is no substitute for good old fashioned therapy. So take what's useful, leave the rest, and don't forget, therapy makes you hotter. Bye.